It's called the sweet science. It's about outsmarting your opponent. And, you know, I can't play chess. My brother is a whiz at it. But this here is a 600-mile-an-hour chess game. It's click, 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 checkmate. There you go. 1-2 uppercut. Right there. There you go. One more. I don't care. There's not a 145-pounder that walks that will take that if it hits flush. It's a good time for everybody involved. There's been, honestly, very few kids that have come here and left a sour taste in my mouth. It's been great. But Brandon, definitely, you know, we're the closest. We spent the most time together. What we do in this building, honestly, at best, is 50% of it. He was just a wealth of knowledge. He'd been watching boxing his whole life. His brother boxed. You know, his brother actually is the one that got him into it. You know, he had, you know, people that he looked up to in the boxing world. And here's a kid that, you know, when he's telling something, and I didn't in the beginning because, like I said, I've had so many, I want to do this, I want to do that. And there's always hope that, hey, maybe this is the one. Maybe they really do. But you could tell with Brandon in a very short time, he was the one. Yeah, I had to build his confidence in himself because I could see what he was capable of doing. You know, if he indeed, he was willing to allow himself to do it. And as physical as this sport might be, it's probably, at best, 25% physical and 75% mental. And without that mental capacity, you will never be a boxer. And Brandon has it.
I met Skeet like 2006 at my first amateur boxing match. It was held in Burlington, Vermont at the Memorial Auditorium. I recognized him up on the stage where all of our fighters and coaches were getting ready, and I introduced myself, and I can remember the conversation just like it was yesterday. He spoke of my grandfather. He used to come up here and fish as a child, and my grandfather always was good to him and his friends, and it was a good conversation. It was like a warm welcoming, you know, into the boxing community for him and I meeting each other. I knew at that point, like, you know, this is going to be a friend of mine for as long as I'm around the boxing world. I had no idea at that point, you know, him and I were going to end up joining the team together, you know what I mean? But I knew he was a good guy. I definitely got a good vibe.
Right there, he's going to throw it, and when he does, you're just going to time it. Pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Just really work on it. Not just continuously that, because it'd be pushing, he'll catch on, but when you're about to get started, that's what I want you to do. Concentrate on that. Just pop, pop, pop.
Trying not to chase him, trying to
Yep.
sit back away.
Yep. Come back away, go to right, make him come to you, and you settle down, and really work on it.
Yeah.
You know, along
I feel
with
like an
that.
idiot if I wait 10 seconds. And
No, but don't. It's about the W.
A relationship, like a positive relationship between a fighter and his trainer, I think is, you know, the pure definition of what Skeet and I have. You know, it goes so much beyond boxing. You know, I go to his gym 3 days a week, but he's in my life 7 days a week. It isn't just show up to basketball practice and when the season's over we don't talk. I mean, it's not like that with him and I. You know, there's some fighters that come there, you know, he doesn't have such the close relationship with, but yeah, I've paid my dues. I've been going there consistently for 4.5 years now without ever taking any type of a break or, you know, not showing up without telling him. I mean, he knows a week ahead of time usually if I'm not going to be there. So our relationship is a lot like family. You know, we do things other than just box. You know, he'll come up, we'll go fishing. We go to boxing events together, and it's good. You know, my family's close with his family, so it works out really well. If it wasn't like that, it wouldn't be as successful, I don't believe. I mean, he works twice as hard as the average man with no disability. I mean, I don't look at it, I hate even saying the word disability because I don't look at it like that with him at all. So I almost feel wrong saying that. I don't even recognize it. The man walks circles around 99% of people I know. So he's a man for the job when it comes to
Jab.
anything as far as
Shorten
boxing
everything up,
goes.
same thing. 1, 2 uppercut.
It doesn't slow us down in the least bit.
Good job. It was my intent to become a professional fighter. You know, I ended up with an amateur record of 22-2. And, you know, it was crazy. I was scheduled to fight Joe LaRue, who had given me one of my toughest matches, you know, in my career. But he was also a weight class above me. And we was going back to Laconia, New Hampshire. I beat him at the Waterville Armory. We had scheduled to fight 3 other times in Maine, which it never happened. So we was going to fight him in his hometown at the Laconia Ice Arena. So I got up that morning, me and a couple of friends went bird hunting to take my mind off things. We'd planned the trip, and we would have left out of here, you know, at 1 o'clock. Well, needless to say, at about 11:30 we sat down to take a rest, and when we got up from the rest, my shotgun discharged, taking my right arm off. And that was the end of my boxing career. But 3 days later, when I woke up, I was very excited to be alive because I thought I was done. And this might sound funny, but maybe it's an advantage because all I can do is jab. And without a jab, you're not a boxer. And Brandon didn't have a jab when he came here. Brandon relied on trying to knock someone out, to punch. He was so eager to throw that right hand, which is the worst mistake in the world.
And I knew in my head they weren't going to land.
But they don't have to land. That's keeping him focused so you can make that advancement and then do what you need to do, Brendan. You've got to jab all the time. But it's boom, boom. Jab. Jab. 1, 2. 2 hook. Nice. Nice. That's nice. 2 uppercut. Again. Nice. Jab. 3 going away.
Never did that either.
Jab. But it's just funny how he's grown, how he's evolved and changed. It's just, you know, he's come from here to here, you know, but we're still looking to go here. And that's the thing that's going to really take the dedication. But he knows what he wants. And I firmly believe that. And people like Brandon Berry, I mean, what a person to be able to look up to. Look what Brandon's done and accomplished. You know, I mean, look at the sacrifices that he makes weekly. And, you know, his journey, you know, and I know people probably get sick of hearing it, but over 700 miles. I mean, that's a story in its own. He drives from the West Forks, which is 126 miles, one direction, here, 3 nights a week, and sometimes 4, depending on, you know, what we're doing. But, you know, we've said it and we joke about it, you know, and it's really not something to joke about. I'm more worried about Brandon getting into a traffic accident, an automobile accident, hitting a moose, than I am when he climbs through the ropes in a boxing match. And that's the truth, because you can never be prepared, you know, for a moose running out in front of you. When Brandon Berry gets in this ring, he's prepared.